I'm Todd Matthews, and on the line with me is Bruce L. Shiner, attorney for the injured. It's time for this week's installment of Ask the Lawyer. And maybe today's the day your question finally gets answered. Let's find out now as we welcome Bruce L. Shiner, attorney for the injured. Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning, Todd. How are you doing this beautiful morning?
Fantastic. Hasn't the weather been beautiful lately, though? I mean, it's been wonderful.
That's why everybody comes to Southwest Florida.
Yes, indeed. How is everybody around the home and at the office health-wise? That's always an important question to ask these days.
Everybody's doing very well for asking.
Good, good. Have you reopened the office entirely yet?
We started to reopen the office. Everybody's getting the vaccine, and as they get the vaccine, they're coming back to the office.
Gotcha. Yeah, kind of a phased-in thing like we've been doing here at the station as well. But, of course, even with the staff working remotely, there's nothing you can't do and get handled, right?
Well, we've been just as active, working remotely as if we were in the office.
Yes.
So everything's going full bore ahead.
Okay, that's good to know. Especially with today's question, because today's is going to require you racking your brain a little bit, I have a feeling. It even starts out, my son was in an unusual accident. We like unusual because they make Bruce think and go back to perhaps law school days and challenge him. We don't like accidents, however. Are you ready, Bruce?
I am ready, Todd.
All right. My son was in an unusual accident, and I hope the lawyer can give us some advice. My son was riding his motorcycle in Punta Gorda through an area of road construction where he was struck head-on by a car in the single lane he was directed to enter. Although he wasn't going very fast, my son was thrown from his motorcycle and received a broken leg, several broken ribs, and needed surgery for a shoulder injury. The men directing traffic got their signals crossed and sent both drivers into the same lane. The driver of the car is claiming my son hit his vehicle. A witness was driving behind my son and confirmed the man directing traffic had sent him into that single lane. My son is severely injured and he only had minimum insurance. The construction company foreman denies his men screwed up. Can your lawyer friend help us figure this out and what we should do? Seems fairly complicated, but maybe you don't see it that way with all your experience. What do you think, Bruce?
Well, this is a typical case where it's so critically important to retain a qualified personal injury lawyer from the beginning because they need to get the investigators out to the scene. They need to get the investigators to statementize the witness. As I understand, there was a witness present.
Yeah.
And, that's going to be determinative of the case because, of course, the construction workers are going to say, it's not my fault.
Right.
But when you have an independent witness who doesn't have a dog in the fight, and he's going to say that the construction worker screwed up, the liability is going to be on the construction company for, misdirecting the traffic.
Here's a point of curiosity as we were kicking this around ahead of time like we typically do. If that were the case, it could be proven that it was the construction employee's fault for sending both sides into a single lane of traffic. Would all of the liability be on the construction company, or would the car that collided with the motorcycle have some liability also?
That's an excellent question, and that's one of the things I also thought about. I would assume there would be some negligence on behalf of the car for running into the motorcycle in addition, but I think the main or the majority of the negligence would be on the construction worker.
So if this went to court, it might be something a jury would award a certain percentage from this defendant and a certain percentage from this one.
Right. They call it comparative fault, so they would compare the fault of the construction worker as opposed to the fault of the car driver.
Well, unfortunately, this gentleman and his son have already gotten the runaround. This is not the kind of thing you take care of as a layperson yourself. You need to get an expert, somebody who deals with this every day, on your side.
Yeah, I can't emphasize how important it is to retain a qualified attorney as soon as you possibly can, because there's usually clues at the accident scene where you can take photographs and find evidence of the accident. And also, one good unbiased witness makes the whole difference of a case.
Sure. Let me ask you something, because you're well known in the area as the biker's lawyer, so I know you've dealt with unfortunately many motorcycle accidents. Have you ever seen a situation like this where the construction crew messed up and sent them in the same lane?
I haven't experienced that, but I could see how it's pretty easy to happen.
Yeah. Well, as the biker lawyer, I would certainly advise anybody in a situation like this to consult with you, because you're our go-to guy, and I certainly recommend that to everyone else. Bruce, please tell the family I said hello, stay well, and thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much, Todd. I'm looking forward to answering another challenging question next Wednesday.
Absolutely. Until then, you stay well, and thank you again.
Okay, take care, Todd.
Okay, bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, Bruce L. Shiner, attorney for the injured. If you would like to reach out with a question, you can get a free consultation. Call the Port Charlotte office at 941-743-7777. 743-7777. And tell them Todd Matthews sent you from Seaview 104.9.